Wow. It's over for the Philadelphia Eagles. They were beat up and beat down by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 32-9 out there in Tampa. You look at this particular game, the Eagles defense, which has been bad for the last few weeks, continued to be bad tonight. They couldn't stop the Buccaneers. And you look at the offense, they were not much better. Jalen Hurts wasn't very good. Without A.J. Brown, this offense looked pedestrian. They couldn't do anything with the blitz. They didn't do anything right here tonight. The Eagles struggled big time. And the reality of it is, even when this team was 10-1, the Eagles have been leaking oil. They've been leaking oil all year long. And finally, at this point, at this moment, at this time, the engine has finally died. Now, you look at next season. Next season should be very interesting. Has Nick Sirianni done enough to keep his job? That's going to be interesting. Obviously, there's going to be a new defensive coordinator, and there probably is going to be a new offensive coordinator. And there may even be a new head coach. We'll see. But Sirianni, on paper, has done enough. Got to the Super Bowl last year, been to the playoffs 3 straight seasons. He has done enough to keep his job. But if the Philadelphia Eagles, Howie Roseman, Jeffrey Lurie feel like, you know what, at this point, at this time, I don't think this guy is the guy who can take us to the next level, then they have to make a decision. And that will be interesting to see what decision they make. But this was a pathetic performance by the Eagles, and it's not surprising. This is definitely not surprising based on the way they're playing. This is not surprising, but it was a pathetic performance. You expected more. This game was very winnable. Tampa's not very good. In fact, Tampa kind of stinks, but the Eagles stink a little more. And the reality is, when you can't score the ball like the Eagles couldn't do today, only 9 points, and when you can't stop nobody like the Eagles did today, allow 32 points, you're not going to win in the National Football League. And the teams that they lost to down the stretch, you talk about the Seattles of the world, you're talking about the Giants of the world, you're talking about the Arizona Cardinals of the world. Those weren't good football teams. So the Eagles pretty much, they weren't playing like a playoff football team coming into this thing. And the reality is, them getting kicked out and losing in the first round, it's not shocking. But you expected more. You expected at some point they would pick it up. You expected at some point they would figure this out, especially after being 10-1. But it never happened. They ended the season losing 6 of 7 games. And be quite honest, they weren't very competitive in those games. We'll see what happens. Should Sirianni stay go? We'll see. Jalen Hurts, you got to get back in that lab. You got to be better. And we'll see what the Eagles do going forward. Again, pathetic.